let's go through our rookie camp tryout invites. And yeah, guys, there's a lot of these to go down. We're not going to give you nearly as much information on these guys because, quite frankly, it's just not worth. Yeah, it's not worth showing you guys because these guys are going to show up, and it's even be a battle for them to get into training camp, let alone make the roster. All right, so we got Chris Autman-Bell, wide receiver out of Minnesota. 9 games this past season, 6 receptions, 88 yards, and 1 touchdown. Not very good. But he would play there from 18 to 23 and averaged 439 yards his first 4 years. So he did have some success in the past. You got Nick Mardner, wide receiver out of Auburn, played also with Cincinnati in 22 and Hawaii 19 to 21.
Hawaii.
Who goes from Hawaii to Cincinnati, first off? I'm sorry. That just shows bad decisions right there.
You did it wrong, kid.
Like, seriously, like most people move from Cincinnati to Hawaii, not the reverse. 4 games this year with 0 receptions in Auburn. But he had 913 yards for Hawaii back in 21. See, he should never have left. We got Jjay McAfee, which has, the best of my knowledge, no relation to the guy who did the McAfee Internet Security Suite. So wide receiver / tight end out of Georgia Southern. Played there. Yeah, he was. Played there from 21 to 23. This past season, 12 games, 37 receptions, 478 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Treyton Pickering, tight end out of Montana State. We got a little bit of a write-up here on him because honestly, there was no information on this guy. I could not find a single stat page, a single draft profile, pretty much anything. 406mtnsports.com said Pickering started at tight end the previous 2 seasons and earned all Big Sky Conference selection in 23. The Sunburst native finished his MSU career with 754 yards and 6 touchdowns on 49 catches. Not that gives you much information, but that's literally all that I can find out there, man. It was bad.
It's nothing.
William Barnes, offensive lineman out of North Carolina, played there from 19 to 23. Last season, 12 games, 8 starts. In his time, he played guard, tackle, and special teams. So he's well rounded like that. J.D. Duplian. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. I got to be honest. I didn't look up the tryout guys out as far as how to pronounce their names to make sure I was right. Michigan State, 19 to 23. Last season there, 12 games, 12 starts at left guard, started 42 consecutive games. So that's actually a guy who's got some promise there. He at least has a lot of experience. We'll have to see if it's good experience, obviously, when he gets into camp, but there's experience. Here he is, the cousin of Evan Neal, Chaz Neal. Literally Chaz with the Z, not a Chad. Offensive lineman from Florida Atlantic. I just had to clarify because hanging Chads is an issue in Florida sometimes. 21 to 23. Listen, I made a joke about the election. It's okay. It's not politics. I didn't pick a side. It's okay. 21 to 23 in Florida Atlantic. Prior to that, he started his career at Florida State, actually, from 18 to 20. He's actually a converted defensive end and played right tackle mostly. Again, another guy I could not find stats on. Florida Atlantic let me down. I went on their page still even, and nothing. So, yeah, that's a little cray. We got also Elijah Chatman, defensive tackle out of SMU, played there from 19 to 23. We got Bryce Feldman of the Athletic said, actually a very good write-up for him. Not only is he pound for pound one of the strongest people in college football, Chatman is one of the strongest, period. On the field, Chatman made 25 tackles, 10 tackles for loss, and 2.5 sacks. In the weight room, the 6'1", 295 Shreveport native product bench press 495 pounds this offseason and has done 42 reps at 225. He's also back squatted 615 and power clean 335. And did this with muscle up weighing 290. Yeah.
My God.
That's a strong man. Tank. And it's funny, so get 295 and like, that's not big enough to be a defensive lineman. But that kind of strength, maybe it is. So
my man has listened to the philosophy of 5-3-1 because my God, that's some power number moves right there. Especially when you're looking at, like you said, 42 reps at 225. So that shows endurance at a high
Seriously.
weight philosophy. Like
That's like benching a
some
person,
of these
a big person,
bigger than the average person. You're looking at a
Yeah.
small average NFL player that you
smarter
are
than the
benching
average
42
bear.
times. Hey, boo
I'm
boo.
assuming he is. I'm assuming he's smarter than the average bear. It'd be kind of bad if he's not.
Yeah,
Did he
you
go
would
to
hope so.
college? He went to college after all.
But I mean, when you bench press
Sitting
like
in class going,
495,
"Big was good."
it's good.
Next up, Quae Drake, linebacker out of Jacksonville State, which, by the way, again, I didn't even know it's a Jacksonville State. There's so many colleges in Florida. It's freaking ridiculous. Played it this past season. Prior to that, spent 2 seasons at Louisiana Monroe. Prior to that, did 2 seasons at Kennesaw State University. This past season, 92 tackles, 6.5 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, 1 interception, 2 passes defended, 1 fumble recovery, and 1 forced fumble. Yes?
I'm raising my hand, Drew.
I know you are. Go for it.
Does Jacksonville know? Does Jacksonville know it's not a state?
It's no. See, a state university just means they get state funding.
They're just
You can call it whatever the hell you want.
State university is different.
That's what that is. It's a state university, Jacksonville State University.
Yeah, but you said Jacksonville State. Just saying.
I'm sorry. I used to use university now for everyone who's not assuming these things. Anyway, he also played basketball while in college at Louisiana Monroe. So good athlete, obviously. Had a good numbers the last season there, but also went to a small school and they weren't dominant, amazing numbers. That's always like, you should be really good at that level if you're going to play in the NFL. I don't think Jacksonville State's ever had an actual NFL player come out of it.
Well,
yeah,
this could be their opportunity.
This could be the one to rule them all.
Jacksonville State University may have its first.
There we go. Next up, Andre White, linebacker out of Georgia Tech. Played it this past season. Prior to that, played at Texas A&M from 19 to 22. This past season, 10 games, 24 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 2.5 sacks, and 1 fumble forced. Again, another guy who played at 2 really big schools, didn't put up a lot of production. I have no hope. Sorry, I'm being negative, I know, but I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I call it like it is. Kalon Gervin. Again, I think I hope I'm pronouncing the name right. It's Kolon Gervin. Kalon Gervin, I think. Mostly corner, but does listed as a DB overall. Played at Kansas this past year. Actually, the past 2 years, should I say. Prior to that, played 19 to 21 at Michigan State. This past season, 23 here. He had 13 games, 14 tackles, and 4 passes defended there. Just 3 starts in 2 years at Kansas and 9 starts at Michigan State University. So if those counting at home, that's 11 starts in 5 years, guys. And we bring him in for a visit. Not quite sure why, but he does have athletic gifts, and I think that's what they're doing is they're putting in people that they think have one or the other to see if they can improve the other, if that makes sense. This guy's a good athlete. Let's see if we can fix his technique. This guy has good technique. Let's see if we can take a look at his athleticism and see what he excels at to see if there's a use somewhere for him on the field. Those kind of scenarios there. He's known as a team leader at his pro day at a broad jump of 11 feet 4 inches, which that's pretty impressive broad jump there. That would have tied for second amongst all participants at the NFL Combine. Not just at corner, not just at DB, all participants. So, again, has some athletic abilities. Ben Labrosse, corner out of McGill University. See, I said university for you this time, Rob.
I appreciate that. Even it's also in your show notes.
I thought that's why I put it there. So for those who may not know where McGill University is, that's because it's in Montreal. And usually they'll say Le McGill University, I believe, is how you say it in French.
Oui.
Le Gill. Also played a couple of years over at 20 and 21 at Syracuse University, which of course is not in Canada. So I went to McGill University's website to get some stats on this guy because all I could find was the stats when he was at Syracuse. For whatever reason, McGill University decided to be just like West Florida and not put any stats up whatsoever for this year. So I have no 23 stats to give you guys. In 22, he had 35 tackles, 3 interceptions, and 1 pass deflected. Again, I think not going to be too crazy. I mean, he even got invited to the combine. And the crazy thing is, I don't know if the college does this, the college football does this on purpose, or if the NFL does it on purpose. I don't know which one is the culprit behind this, but they love to bring Canadians to the combine, even if they don't have a chance of being drafted, just to say that it's like an international combine, basically. It happens all the time. So that's one of those.
Hey, man, can you run a? Let's go, eh?
Yeah. And here he is. Go to camp with us. Bring his tent.
It's an opportunity, eh?
He's making s'mores.
Fighting a moose.
For those who are curious, don't you know, the rookie minicamp is going to be May 10th through 11th this year. So mark your calendars because that should be some good information to have. Plus, on top of that, if I remember correctly, I'll be on my cruise at that point. So that'll be a Rob show. Rob gets to give you all his thoughts on the rookie minicamp.
The 10th. What is the 10th and 11th? The May the 4th is a Saturday, so the 10th and 11th is a Saturday, Sunday.
I'm pretty sure that, that's my first day. That's the when I'm leaving on the boat is the 11th. So yes. So that Monday would be the show you'd have the 13th, and that'd be your rookie minicamp show. You're on your own with this one, Rob. You get to discuss Ben Labrosse from Canada, don't you know?
I'm going to tell you about all the hosers he's around.
All the hosers,
yeah.
and posers.
And then Tim Hoyts that he's been drinking.
Don't you know? Had all this Molson Triple X here.
Well, the show won't go on if I was drinking Molson Triple X.
Yeah, it's not that strong. I've had it plenty of times. It's the best part of Canada is the alcohol. Between the whiskey and the stronger beer.
You know what's amazing about Molson Triple X? Triple X came around when I think I was like 18, 19 years old. So we're like, oh my God, look at this beer. It's like 6.5%. It's like drinking battery acid, but let's go.
Dude, that's been around for much longer than that. It's been in Canada, like a legit version of it. Like
in the United States.
I know, but it's still not the same as in Canada. You want it in Canada. Yeah.
I don't think I do.
Yeah, you do.
I don't think you
do.
Is it better in Canada? How better is it in Canada?
Yes, it is.
Does it taste like slightly less like battery acid with a little more alcohol content?
It's what you expect of a really strong beer, basically.
I've had some really strong beers that doesn't taste like battery acid. So.
Well, apparently you should be having them better. Anyway, I just realized, thanks to Bill who just popped in here, that we forgot one on our list here. And I checked up like 2 or 3 different sites that were doing trackers to verify I didn't miss anybody, and they didn't have him on here. Liam Thompson, quarterback out of Wabash, who threw for 11,149 yards, 102 touchdowns, both second in program history. Also rushed for 1,747 yards. But Bill puts in here, this Liam kid better not replace my Tommy. I'll be salty. You got no worries, man. The only reason they're bringing him in here is one reason only. Exactly. He's invited to camp, as Bill specifies here. The reason you invite him to camp is the same reason we have a kicker coming to camp. It's hard to run passing drills without a passer. You need a quarterback. In fact, I wouldn't
somehow
be shocked.
You got to start that shoot.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked at all if a second one even gets brought in just to kind of try to figure something out there like that. But yeah, it's no worries. Don't worry about him. He's, like I said, he's here just to throw the ball around for a couple of days and leave. That's what it boils down to. But we'll take a look. Who knows? I mean, stranger things have happened. DeVito might have been in that for that same reason last year too. Maybe he impressed them in some way. Maybe they said to him, like, "What do you see in this play?" And he went,
"My mom makes a really good strong ball."
And like, oh, we want the shrimp bowl. Maybe we should sign this kid.
That pasta for shoe.
The pasta fazool. I actually had some vodka sauce and gnocchi last night. Oh my god, was it good? Oof.
Oh yeah,
it was good. It was like packed too.
Was it
some of them,
potato or is it the?
Huh? It was potato and cheese.
There we go.
Yeah, it was legit. It was legit. It's very rare I say legit food about Florida.
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support.
Thanks so much.